I want to talk more about your business as a local business owner. You well, let's go to the very beginning. Tell me how you got started. So you were this ski bum, and then you went back to USU and did outdoor recreation. And is that around the time that you started to do Cedar sports, or how did that all play out chronologically? I guess?
So I was a ski bum, dropped out of college, and then I met my wife. And in the summer times, I had been working for Vivint, going out for the summers and doing security stuff, and then ski instructing in the winter.
Okay.
And then I met my wife, and I didn't want to do the long distance thing.
Right.
So I quit Vivint. I started doing river rafting, and working
like guiding.
Yeah, I started guiding here locally on the Cedar River, and then so I got really. It was another thing that I fell in love with was river rafting. And then I was working on my degree. My wife graduated and she got a job working for the BLM.
Oh, okay.
Here in Cedar City. And it was a really good job, a pretty hard job to get. And she was really lucky to have it. And in that line of work, you can't just work for a year and in one position and leave. You got to stay there for a little bit. And then you get some freedom to kind of move around. And then I graduated the year after she got that job.
Okay.
And so now I've got a degree and like, what do I do with it? We're kind of stuck in Cedar City because she's got this job that she really, really, really likes. And
good place to be stuck in, though.
Good place to get stuck in. Yeah, exactly. But the freedom that you have with a degree in outdoor recreation in Cedar City is somewhat limited because a lot of people like to live here. A lot of people want to move here. And so the competition is high for jobs.
I see. Saturated a little bit.
And a degree in outdoor rec really kind of prepares you to work in public lands in the National Park Service, the Forest, the BLM, things like that. It does not prepare you to run an outdoor gear shop at all. And
it's just an added bonus. Running an outdoor gear shop.
Exactly. So I didn't know what I was going to do. So I spent a summer guiding in St. George, doing some climbing and canyoneering guiding. And then I was on a river rafting trip with my adventure buddy and his wife. We were sitting on a boat in a calm part of the river, and we were talking about the ski industry in southern Utah. And there wasn't a ski shop in Cedar City at all. And there had been a sports authority, but they went out of business. And so we were just talking about that, and we were like, why do you think that a ski shop would work in Cedar City? And my friend, he was a dual major in both accounting and business.
Oh, wow.
And also very intelligent, and had always wanted to open a business. And he was like, I don't know why there's not a ski shop in Cedar City. And I said, I don't know either. And he said, we should start one. And I said, no way. I absolutely do not want to do that. And he was like, no, it'd be fun. We should try it. And then I was like, no, not a chance. My dad was a small business owner, and he was always working like 50, 60, 70 hours a week.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's hard, and never making any money. And I didn't ski growing up because there was no money to ski, because he was a small business owner that never made any money, And anyways, so he kept working on me a little bit. Every time we hung out after that, he would work on me a little bit, say, hey, we should try this. Hey, we should try this. Hey, we should try this. And finally, in like, it was about this time of year, maybe, that it was about, it was like early September, or maybe late August. And he was like, let's do it. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it for 6 months. For 6 months. If I don't like it after 6 months, if we're not doing well after 6 months, then we're done. I'll go for it. But I get to reserve the right to quit.
That's a big investment for a 6-month trial.
Yeah. And also caveat to that, we had no idea what we were doing. Right.
It sounds reminiscent of being a ski instructor.
Just jumping in. Maybe that's my life. Maybe that's my life.
That's awesome.
Exactly. But yeah, so we jumped in and then quickly realized that it takes far more money than we had thought to open a ski shop. And
is that to buy for the overhead costs and buying?
Yeah, you've got to buy a rental fleet, and you've got to buy inventory, and you've got to remodel a building. Yeah, and got to do advertising and things like that. Yeah, and we had $12,000, which is nothing.
Yeah.
So I called up Solomon Solomon Rep. They're a big ski company, and I always liked their rental gear.
Mm-hmm.
So I called the rep and I said, hey, I want to buy a rental setup. I've got about $6,000. And he literally laughed at me. Yeah. He was like,
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Yeah. He was like, you literally cannot buy anything for $6,000, you know? Yeah, there's nothing you can buy for $6,000. And he's like, but I know a guy that might be able to help you out. And so there's this guy's name is Tim Cole. He lives in Salt Lake. They call him the bottom feeder. And he's like those sucker fish in a fish tank.
Yeah.
And he just goes around sucking up all the little extras and the closeouts and the bargain items that are in the ski industry.
Yeah.
And he has them in a big warehouse up there. And so I got a hold of him. I went up there and he kind of let me go shopping through his warehouse. And he sold me my first rental fleet. He sold me skis, boots, and poles as a set for $65, I think.
Really?
Where each set for $65.
Man, you got to hook me up with this bottom feeder.
Yeah. I'm going to go see him tomorrow.
That's awesome.
I'm going to see him tomorrow. But yeah, he made it possible for us to get going. And we bought the rental fleet from him. And then on all of our retail inventory, he let us take it from him on consignment.
Wow.
So I didn't have to purchase it. So he gave us a bunch of stuff, 50, 60 grand worth of stuff that we put in our shop. And when we sold it, we paid him 65%. And then we got to keep the rest of that.